All right, Alicia's in from the Henry Dooley Zoo, and happy Halloween week.
Happy Halloween. I've kind of been celebrating it for 2 weeks because we've got Spooktacular going on at the zoo, so it's been Halloween Central since about the beginning of October.
I bet.
But I love it. The zoo looks so pretty dressed up for Halloween.
Well, you brought in, is this Otis?
This is Otis. He is an eastern screech owl. He's actually a bird that we acquired from Raptor Rehab. You can't really tell, but one of his legs, he can't perch properly. And so in the wild, they were concerned about him being able to function properly in the wild, so we got him. So we just use him for a program animal to talk about, an animal ambassador to talk about raptors in Nebraska and all over the world and how they're amazing and so beneficial. And everyone seems to really, they just love owls. Yeah. Like everyone in the studio has just been like, oh, your owl.
Yeah, it's very out of yeah. I don't think that when I do notice owls, I've never noticed one that small.
Right. Well, and of course these guys, you could have one of these guys in your backyard easily. Like my mom has a screech owl house, and it's just they're super easy to attract because they don't need a whole lot of space. But you can also, if you live, I see owls in the city all the time. You just have to look at the right time of day. Obviously, they're going to be out at dusk, and right as that's happening. Whenever I'm walking in Elmwood Park, I see there's a beautiful pair of barred owls that I see on the golf course all the time. And I have a really small dog, so I'm always like, don't take my dog. Right. Yeah. Don't take my dog. And there's been stories of great horned owls taking like smaller dogs, Maltese and stuff. This guy couldn't take a dog, obviously, since he's sitting on my hand. And he's really tiny. He probably weighs, he doesn't even weigh a pound. I'm going to tell you that.
No kidding.
So, because birds have hollow bones, so... He's just as light as a feather. I mean, it barely feels like I'm holding anything. Oh, play on words. Play on words. Yeah, at least. So a lot of people think that these these tufts here, because they kind of look like a little miniature great horned owl. They think that the tufts are their ears, but it's not. It's just to make them look bigger.
No
Their
kidding.
ears are actually really far behind their eyes. But these guys really... They use their eyes much more, and that's why their eyes are so big, because they are nocturnal, and so they use that to focus. The other really cool thing about owls is their feathers are so soft and so light. That's why you barely hear them. If they're flying around, you can barely hear them. Like if a bird as big as a great horned owl was flying by you, you'd think, I should be able to hear something that big pushing that much air, but you really don't. They're so quiet, and that's the way they're built. Their feathers are built to just be silent because they need to be able to swoop down at night and grab those little rodents and such. So.
Is that as big as Otis gets?
This is as big as Otis gets. We've had Otis at the zoo for quite a while. I can't even remember. And obviously, like I said, he's a rehab bird, so we don't really know his actual age. But
So what is he hunting in the wild then? Mice?
Yep, this guy, he can eat tiny field mice. They'll also take insects, like they'll eat crickets and grasshoppers and stuff. Okay. Anything that's got some protein in it. But yeah, these guys, I know it's hard to believe that they can take down something, being that they're so tiny. Mm-hmm. It's hard to think of them as a little predator, but that's exactly what they are. Bird of prey.
A lot of birds you would think they have a beak. I don't see much of a beak there. It's in there, I'm
sure.
It
is. It's right there. He has his the feathers around his eyes kind of fluffed up and crusted up, and they're kind of covering. It's almost like a nose mustache. That's the only way I can think of it to explain it, or a beak mustache, I should say. And they're covering his nares, and that probably helps protect them when they fly through the air. I mean, they've got these really great things that cover their eyes called a nictitating membrane, and it's clear. So when they fly, they can put those over their eyelids or their eyeballs to help protect them. But they're not just out in the open. So it's really cool. Oh, I can get closer to you. Okay, there
you looks so intelligent with those big eyes.
The wise owl. How many licks it shake for Tootsie Pop? Yeah, they're just... I think because of the fact that they have such big eyes, that's why people like them so much. Just like, baby animals have big eyes, and baby humans have big eyes. And so I think that's what endears us to owls more than maybe, say, like a dog. Eagles are very prideful, and hawks are very powerful, and people just think, oh, owls are cute, and they're so pretty. Yeah. But really, owls they're pretty tough. They're pretty tough kids.
Will he be out for Spooktacular?
I believe I do have him scheduled for me to take him out one night, so that would be a Sunday evening. I will be working if anybody wants to meet Otis. But just so you know, we have 3 more nights of Spooktacular coming up, and then actually on Saturday night, Halloween, we have Boo Bash, which is in addition to Spooktacular. You can get your tickets online for that, and it includes a dinner and some more special animal visitors, and then it also gives you pre-access to Spooktacular. But we have Spooktacular going on this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if the kids didn't feel good or something, and maybe you didn't get out for trick-or-treating on Halloween, you have the opportunity to come to the zoo on Sunday for 1 extra night of trick-or-treating.
And comedy night, which is
and
cool.
And comedy night's coming up, the 13th and the 14th. Rachel told me that we've already sold quite a bit of tickets to it. So if you're interested in that, get online and get those purchased. I know. And we also have some fun animal visitors at that. We try to tie it in and try to think of something funny, but to me, all animals can be funny. But, I mean, we have summit birds that talk that make it maybe a little more funny. But, the animals are the stars, but really the comedians are the stars that night. But it's a great deal. It's $50. Good date night for somebody if you've got, something coming up, or not something coming up, and you want to do something on a weekend. Again, the 13th and 14th of November. And it's super fun.
Cool.
I've heard a lot of really good things about it. I was thinking about going. Hopefully,
maybe you take Otis as a date.
Maybe I could.
Yeah.
He's not very funny though.
Okay.
If I could get a kookaburra would be a great one because they laugh. They laugh. I'm not even going to attempt it, even though I tried a little bit. I'm going to stop.
Well, Alicia, thanks for coming in, and happy Halloween.
Thank you so much for having us.
Appreciate you introducing us to Otis.
Absolutely. We'll give him another zoom in on the camera.